shibat izaba. Ishate nizababa. Shibat izaba. Ella Hadaluna. Venu Buzi Kapaji. Yib. Ooh. How Tibi? Redashea. Ooh. Skip. Oh, Phoebe Lele. Skiba la ziba.
Tarthaglib. Tiwap.
Ishate. Bibla. Damsaru.
Ibdu. Ibna. Ibuna.
Warba Jow.
Kuzna weeb.
Buzi Kapaji. Yib. Wimabu, Banuji, Hoblibs. Wablong. Zenda. Hapela. Wanib.
Hello everyone, welcome back to MySims Kingdom. Here we are in Renee's Nature Preserve. Pretty generic, sort of opening level. We're now going sort of outside just regular tutorial territory and getting a little bit more into the normal groove of what this game is gonna be like. And what that is a lot of shaking trees, digging up treasure, mining, although I don't believe there are any mines in this world, and finding things. There are extra scrolls like this that you can find in little things. There's some crabs in those cages. We'll be dealing with those in a little bit. Right now I'm just kind of showing the most interesting spoils of my walking around. This is really what the LP is going to be, you know, stretches of showing you the actual game stuff where I'm building things for people and whatnot, but not showing too much of this stuff, of the collecting. Showing off a little bit of the fishing here, so you get a feel for what it's like. It's like fishing. And as far as I'm aware, is completely up to chance in terms of what you get, but I did get a couple of kind of interesting things right off the bat here, which is why I'm showing more of this. I should do an LP of one of the, like, sea bass fishing games on Dreamcast or something. Anyway, that was the Shield of Smiting, and I think this is going to be the action figure. No. Oh, somewhere is the... I think it's the Chef Watanabe. Or is it Watanabe or Watanabe? How do you say it? I've never known how to say that name. But yeah, figurine. Barney, at the beginning, you'll remember, gave us a task to find all of the fish in the world. We're going to get several tasks similar to that one. There's going to be one for finding all of the action figures in the game, one for finding all of the armor pieces in the game. There's a knight character that has some armor that wants... They want it. And then another person wants all of the flowers, types of flowers in the game. I will not really be trying to do those, because, I mean, it's kind of completely random. Most of them you just get through, you know, fishing and just doing random shit and just coming across them, so there's no way I'm going to, like, record, like, 10 hours of me just doing random bullshit in this game for the 30 seconds of total footage of me collecting all of those things just for completionist's sake, but that is what they are. And they are neat to find. It'll be interesting to see how many of them I get in the course of just playing the game normally. Because, like I said last time, I do go out of my way to get more essences than I really need. But Anyway, now we are building the visitor center, and as always, I am not really paying much attention to making this be a building that looks good or anything. I'm just kind of trying to tick all of the boxes and get through this as quick as possible. Maybe sometime down the line I'll try to put a little bit more time and effort into actually making one of these building projects look kind of nice. I'm kind of shitty with that in regular Sims too. Whenever I build houses in Sims, I'm much more concerned about like the interiors and just having all the stuff that you need. Much more so than I am concerned about outside appearance, especially roofs. I'm really bad at making good-looking roofs on my houses in The Sims. The outside of my houses in Sims games always looks like dog ass. But that's okay. And I mean, the other thing is, with this kind of stuff, there's a little bit of a limit to just how beautiful you can make these, because you're just kind of working with what you're given, and you're obviously stuck within this game's art style. I was gonna say, I don't know, I'm not sure if the word chibi is like a thing or the correct word for what the art style of this game is, particularly with regard to like the character design, obviously. I don't know if that's the correct term for that art style, but that is how I've heard it be described, and all I know is that it's just, vaguely anime inspired. And yeah, you can get different outfits. I'll probably change out of this Jack Sparrow ass outfit at some point, but not right now. The one that we just got is something for Renee, which, yeah, I don't remember it being very good, and I'm standing on a pig. You don't do anything with the pig. The pig is just kind of there. I'm going to see the movie Pig right after I record this, actually. The new Nicolas Cage movie about his pig being taken. I hope it's good. I've heard it's very sad, so I hope I don't cry. So yeah, no point in belaboring things. I spent a lot of time off screen chopping down and replanting trees and fishing and stuff. Well, not a lot of time, but enough that, I had some bass and some wood on hand, ready to go right away. And here I'm like just jumping right into trying to hook up these conveyor belts, which just kind of, as you can probably tell, speed up the whole connecting things with gears and axles process by a little bit. Also, I'm talking over it, but you might notice I've always not really liked this level because Renee is kind of unsettling. Yeah, she keeps doing like evil sounding laughs, and I don't know if they're supposed to be like playful or anything, but they sound nefarious, and I don't know what to make of them. And here's me being a Dumbo and not knowing how to do anything, but I got it. I figured it out. I'm a smart little boy. So there's the bull ride, and I'm going to try it out, because, bull rides are pretty fun. I've actually never ridden a mechanical bull in real life. I want to try it sometime. I would instantly just fall right on my fucking ass, I know it, because I'm a very small, thin boy, and those things don't fuck around. Those things will thrash you. I'm kind of mad that we're not doing the Rocket Reef level right now, because it would be appropriate, as the big news coming out of today is that Jeff Bezos quote-unquote went to space. He really just, like, went up high. He went on a big plane ride. It was slightly less pathetic than Richard Branson, who went, like, what, 50,000 feet in the air? Like, and that's supposed to be that he was in space, and it's like, no, you just went up really high. That's not really space. And Bezos went up, like, 350,000 feet, which, I mean, that is a lot of feet up in the air. And I guess you would, like, probably see the whole curvature of the Earth from there. But, I don't know exactly, does that count as, like, out of Earth's atmosphere? And either way, it was still a suborbital flight. They were only up there for, like, 2 minutes. The vast majority of the travel time was them falling back down to Earth. So I think I think the celebration on these billionaires' part with their space travels is a little bit premature. I'm not exactly impressed, honestly. I mean, like, a fucking monkey went up higher for longer, like 60 years ago. Like, we put a dog orbited the Earth, like, in the 50s. Like, just going up there for a couple minutes. It's not impressive just because, you know, you made the spaceship with your own money. I don't give a fuck about that. If anything, I'm angry about that. Like, because at least, you know, yes, NASA's whole, like, space race missions in the 50s and 60s were all, you know, obviously what word would I use? You know, like an outlet, a stage of the Cold War, you know, grandstanding, dick measuring against the Soviet Union and such, as well as, you know, just kind of a offshoot project of our more broad, like, military R&D and expansion. But, and of course the product of a lot of Nazi-assisted rocket technology, which of course was also true for the Soviets. But at least the actual people on those missions were, like, had some interest in the endeavor from a scientific standpoint and were, like, ostensibly, like, getting information out of it, and you're actually, like, going to space for extended periods of time. And, you know, the stated goal is to study and explore. That's the extent to which I like space stuff, because I enjoy learning things, and, you know, I think it offers an opportunity to understand the world better, you know, if you know things about space. But this is just like guys playing with very expensive toys, and for what? To make a commercial spaceflight industry for that 15 people will be able to afford to do in 30 years, and to what end? What are you gonna fucking... You go to space, and then what? You know, then what are you gonna do? So, I don't care. And of course, all of this is made even worse by the fact that, you know, Jeff Bezos could just fucking end homelessness in America, like buy a home for every homeless person ever, which you wouldn't even, like, need to... You certainly wouldn't need to build a new house for everybody. We have more than enough vacant homes for every homeless person in the country, and then some. But he could do that, and that would be like losing pocket change. He would barely he would still be richer than he was before the pandemic. So that's all very annoying. And also, he said afterward, because they had like a press thing after he got out of the ship, and he was saying that he believes that commercial space travel is going to be the way that we beat climate change, or like save humanity from climate change, because we'll be able to take all of the polluting industry and put it in space so that we can keep the Earth healthy. And a kind of bigger part of me just assumes that really Bezos doesn't really believe any of this shit and doesn't really care about, like, the common good in any way, and this really is just kind of like a make-work project for him and a way for him to enrich himself in the future. I mean, obviously, when he imagines, space colonies and, commercial space travel, he probably imagines himself being in control of a large portion of whatever industry and commerce comes out of that scenario. But even giving him the benefit of the doubt that he actually thinks that that's the best way to to save humanity from climate change, or to make sure that our current rate of consumption remains sustainable, is to move everything into space. I'm sorry, but that's really fucking stupid. You have to just not understand how anything works and to be able to think that that is an actually smart way of dealing with the problem of depletion of resources and land and destruction of habitat. I mean, for one thing, there's a lot of problems with it, but chief among them to me is the fact that, in order to, move that industry there, you would have to still have production on Earth, and that will inherently still make more stuff. Also, there's stuff that is on the Earth that isn't on the fucking moon or in space that people need, and you'd have to just bring it from Earth. That's still using the resources of Earth, and it doesn't do anything about the actual state of the environment. It doesn't help anything. It just kicks the can further down the road to, a place that is even harder to get to, will be restricted to the very richest people on the planet who will be the least affected by these problems, and also that will be even less able to actually produce anything out of in an easy way. It's so fucking dumb, and the fact that it's dumb is part of why I think he doesn't actually believe that. But I mean, it's kind of a distinction without a difference, because they're going to do it either way. It doesn't really matter what I think. And also, whether or not he thinks he's doing something good won't change the reality that it is just a make-work project, and it is just a means of enriching himself. Whether or not he sees it that way or not doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah, so fuck that. I like space. I think space is cool, but these guys are, just dumb nerds. Same thing with Elon Musk. He has this reputation as such a fucking genius and everything. And when he actually, talks about stuff, when he talks about, for instance, his ideas for public transit, it's really fucking stupid and speaks to a lack of understanding of actual life and, what would actually solve problems. And it kind of makes you think, do you actually think that these are, the ways to fix these problems, and they just coincidentally are all of the things that make you rich? Or, is it just things that make you rich, and all of this stuff that you say is just posturing to kind of obfuscate that? I'd believe either one, but again, a distinction without a difference, it doesn't really matter in practice, because it happens either way. So, yeah. Sorry, Renee's stuff, I mean, you can see what we're doing. We're just building some stuff, so, yeah, I'm just riffing. Right now we're making a tower for Princess Pussy, her cat. That's not her name, but that's what I'm calling her. That nature walk bit takes a really long time because it's very particular about the fact that it wants those railings on there, the fences. Here's me being very confused by shapes. This is a little bit finicky. I don't love the building stuff in this game too much because it is a little bit finicky, and I actually think that the original MySims game does the building sections a little bit better. I like the amount of variety that this game gives you in comparison, but the building in MySims 1 is very... it's on like a grid that's just like straightforward, and it's just easier. You're not like also moving your character. It's just easier to play stuff generally, at least from what I remember. I mean, I haven't played that game in a few years. And yes, I know now that I have this the wrong way, but it was difficult to tell at the time. But yeah. Also, you get, like, the furniture building stuff, and, again, that stuff, it's, like, right head on and everything, and it's, like, pretty easy, which is why it can get kind of repetitive, but, it at least feels okay. It feels better than, this does sometimes, because, you know, controls can be finicky sometimes. They're not always, perfect. Oh, and yeah, these things are cute. Those things are in every level. They, you know, you can pull up those little dandelion weeds, and they give you different things, and they make a little tone like that. And it's always very unnerving when you don't get to finish, when you don't get to do the what do you call it? The resolving note. What's the last? The note that, like, feels like the end. You know what I'm talking about. And if people who know anything about music, unlike me, will be able to know what term I'm talking about that I'm not remembering right now. Anyway, getting this cat up here is kind of is a little bit of a thing, because they go in whatever direction you're facing, so if you get ahead of them and then you turn, they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to walk into the wall, that's where he wants me to go. Real cats are much smarter than this. They wouldn't even want to follow me. They would just get up there by themselves. But anyway, believe it or not, the fucking nature preserve is finished. We made it perfect. It has everything it needs now. 4 animals.
So.
It's parts like that in the dialogue in this game that make it a little bit more fun to me. I do think that sometimes the humor in this game is... I mean, it's all quite light and, you know, obviously very, like, child-friendly. Nothing too wild or silly, but I don't know. I think it's cute. There's a certain amount of charm to the humor and personality of this game. So yeah, I'm just kind of doing another thing that I do at the end of all the levels in this game is do one last sort of sweep of the level, just see if there's anything around that might be worth looking at, and when, you know, I found a clam filled with stuff, so that's the reason for that kind of thing. Anyway, very short level. The next one will be a little bit longer, and that'll be Cowboy Junction, which is a little more interesting locale that I enjoy. So see you guys next time for that.